Hi friends, and today we are going to discuss one of the very confusing topic, but trust me, this is very easy topic. That is to understand is filtered function and is cross filtered function. So to understand those is filtered functions and is cross filtered function, let's understand first the theoretical concept behind that. Okay, if we talk about any particular column, if we talk about any particular column in a table, any column in a table. For example, I have a table and it has various columns like this one is column is C1, this is column C2, this is column C3, and this is column C4, and every column has various rows, means various values every column is having. Okay, so what can happen, every column in a table, every column in a table can be filtered by three different ways. Remember, every column in a table can be filtered by three different ways. What are those three different ways? One is known as direct filter. One is known as direct filter. Second one known as indirect filter. And third one is known as cross filter. Okay, so any particular column, whether C1, C2, C3, C4, can be filtered by three different ways: by direct filter, indirect filter, or cross filter. So let me clarify what do you mean by filter. For example, my C2 column has various entries: X, Y, Z, W, A, B, C. Okay, so while I'm selecting few values only or one value only, I'm repeating again, instead of considering as a whole column, if I'm picking some values from the column, for example, I'm selecting only X. That means what I am doing, I'm filtering my column C2 and taking only value X. Similarly, instead of X, I'm taking three values X, Y, and Z. Instead of considering all the column, I'm taking only three values from this column C2. So what we are doing, we are filtering this column. This is nothing but filtering. I hope you get an idea. Choosing some specific values from a column is nothing but filtering. Now, this filtering can be done by three ways, as I told you: direct filtering, indirect filtering, and cross filtering. What is direct filtering? When a column is filtered directly, I repeat once again, when a column is filtered directly, it is known as a direct filter. Okay, when a column is filtered directly, you may say, what is direct filter? Suppose, let us take an example. In my Power BI report view, I drop a slicer. Okay, I drop a slicer, and slicer is what? And in the slicer, I drop my column C2. Okay, so what is happening? I drop my column C2 here, and it will be mentioned like this. Suppose I mean the list view. That means X, Y, Z, W, A, B, and so on. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm selecting only few values of the column C2. Suppose I'm selecting only X value from the slicer. So what I'm saying means, instead of considering all values from the C2, consider only X. Consider only X. Or I'm saying, no, I don't want X. I need Y and Z. So I'm directly filtering them. I'm directly selecting only Y and Z. Right? This is nothing but your direct filtering. Similarly, what I do, I took a table visual, and in the same table visual, I drop my C2 column. So what I will get here, I will get X, Y, Z, W, A, B, and so on. So what will happen once we drop something? Okay, here in the table view, here what is happening? This table is being filtered again, because here we will have a context corresponding to X only. Suppose I drop a total sales measure here. I need to know what is total sales corresponding to X. I'm just taking an example. Okay, so this entry will be corresponding to only X. This entry will be corresponding to total only Y. This will be totally corresponding to Z. W, A means what is happening? We are directly filtering our column. Okay, so we are directly, my motto is to choose any particular value of this particular column only. This is my motto. Select particular value of this column only by using any visual. Doesn't matter which visual it is, using a direct filter or using a table visual, or you can use another filter. Then that is nothing but your direct filtering. Okay. Now, second way of filtering a column is what? I'm not applying filter directly here. Okay, not applying filter directly here, but I'm choosing some other column of the table. I'm choosing some other column of the table. For example, my column is C1, which has some values, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, now I drop a slicer. Okay, I drop a slicer now. And this slicer is having the column C1. So it will have entries like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. Now I selected one from here. Now I selected one from C1. So what this slicer is saying, select the entries corresponding to C1 equals to 1. So that means this row will be selected. Hope you are getting my point. And due to the selection of this row, this X will be selected corresponding to C2. This X will be selected corresponding to C2. So what will happen? Due to this selection of C1, these columns like C2, C3, and C4 will automatically get filtered. Because here I said, please select the one. We select the one from C1, and once C1 is selected, so this particular row will be selected. That means C2 will be having value X, C3 will be having value corresponding to C3, C4 will be having value corresponding to again this particular row only. So what is happening? My C2, C3, C4 are getting filtered, but not directly, but due to C1. So when any particular column of a table is being filtered by other columns of the same table, filtered by other column of the same table, means we are not directly filtering C2. Filter is coming either due to C1, either due to C3, either due to C4. This is known as indirect filter. Okay, this is known as indirect filter. Now last category is cross filter. The last category is cross filter. Now suppose I have two tables. And in this table also we have a column C1. Okay, these are several column. Suppose I have a column known as C1 or any column, doesn't matter. I'm not naming it the same way. Suppose any column it is, let's say CX. And these two tables are related like this. This is the primary key in this table, and this is the foreign key in this table. Okay, and what is happening? This table, or suppose any column of this table, is filtered due to the not any column of this table, but in fact any other column of related table. Any other column of related table, it is being filtered. Right? For example, here we have various entries like this. We have make the relationship between Cx and C1, and Cx is having value like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I drop a slicer here corresponding to Cx, and we have entries like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Here I selected 2. So that filter will propagate here, and the rows corresponding to 2 will be selected here. Let us say we have marked as unique entries. There may be multiple times 2 are entered. Suppose 2 is here also. So what will happen? Suppose we have selected 2 here in the CX. Then all the rows corresponding to 2, that is this row and these row, because these are having 2, and we have created a relationship between CX and C1, are selected. Only these two rows will be selected. As these rows are selected, so this column is filtered, it will give you only value 2. This is filtered, will give you only value y. This is filtered, it will give you only value this. This is filtered, this will give you value only this. Similarly, this row will give you only value 2. This will give you a. This will give you corresponding to this. This will give you corresponding to this. So instead of selecting entire columns, we are getting selected values. And this kind of filtering, when means filtering is happening due to the related table, other table, this is nothing but cross filter. This is nothing but cross filter. So there are two functions. One is filtered function, okay, and second function is cross filtered function to capture these relationships, right? So is filtered is able to capture only and only direct filtering. Is filtered is able to capture only and only direct filtering, but is cross filtered is able to capture all three kinds of filtering. All three kinds of filtering, the is cross filtered is able to capture. It is able to capture your direct filtering, indirect filtering, as well as cross filtering. Okay, so how we get an idea, is filtered will be able to capture direct filtering, is cross filtered will be able to capture all three, direct, indirect, and cross filtering. In the next video, we will go to the practical implementation of is filtered and is cross filtered and their practical usages. Thank you. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel, hit the like button, and please do some comments, ask for something, give me some suggestions so that I can improve my videos and bring new videos for you. Thanks everyone.